Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. It's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it with some comic book news. A new announcement from Vault Comics, Queen of Bad Dreams. I'm always excited when I hear about a brand new title coming from Vault Comics, one of my absolute favorite comic book publishers out there. Almost everything they do is just groundbreaking sci-fi fantasy stuff, experimental, different, unique. I'm loving it. I'm loving everything they're doing, so I'm really pumped for this one. It debuts in April. It's going to be written by Danny Lore with artwork by Jordi Perez. I'm not familiar with either the writer or the artist. Haven't checked out any of their works before. Really going to get into some Danny Lore stuff, see what she's doing. So I'm really pumped for this. And like I said, anything that Vault Comics has done has just been extraordinary, in my opinion. The basic gist of this story is that in dreams, there are these things called figments, and at times they escape from the world of dreams and into reality. And then there's this like organization has to go and either decide to give them free agency in the real world or bring them back into the dream. Seems really, really cool. There was a Paste magazine article with an interview with writer Danny Lore, and she was saying lots of really cool things about what this is about how other people feel like they can control your dreams, and it's up to you to make what you want out of your dreams and out of your life. I'm really excited for this. It seems very uplifting, seems really cool and fantasy driven, and just right up my alley. And the artwork that I've seen from Perez looks fantastic. There's a new one from Marvel Comics, Marvel Team Up. Marvel Team Up is making a triumphant return, and historically, Marvel Team Up has usually been a Spidey-centric team-up book, where it's usually Spider-Man teaming up with someone else, right? Something like that. This time around, they're going to have it be a Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel-focused Marvel team-up book. The first 3 issues are going to be written by Eve Ewing with artwork by Joey Vasquez. Eve Ewing's doing an amazing job right now in Ironheart, 2 issues in, and it's one of Marvel's most solid books right now. I'm loving it. Really excited to see this, and I think it's appropriate to move the shift just from away from Spider-Man all the time to Kamala Khan, to Miss Marvel. It's a great character, created by G. Willow Wilson, amongst others, and has taken the Marvel Universe by storm. I'm excited to see the extra spotlight. We already got Solid and Ahmed relaunching Miss Marvel with Magnificent Miss Marvel. Now we got Eve Ewing and company relaunching a Marvel team-up book with her. Her first team-up, of course, is going to be with Spider-Man. How appropriate. There's a new one from Aftershock Comics this April called Mary Shelley, Monster Hunter. It's going to be written by Adam Glass with artwork, written by Adam Glass and Olivia Briggs with artwork by Hayden Sherman. Hayden Sherman is the artist of Wasted Space from Vault Comics. I love that book. He's got a really raw, rough, gritty style that just totally fits that book, Wasted Space. Mary Shelley, Monster Hunter is exactly what you think. Mary Shelley, who was the author of Frankenstein, probably one of the most popular horror novels out there, right up there with Dracula. She was actually writing true stuff, non-fiction, right? She is a monster hunter. So it's kind of like, you know, your whole, like, what was it, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, that kind of thing. But like I said, really pumped for Sherman on the artwork on this. It's a cool concept. I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen. Dick Tracy Forever is a new book coming out from Michael Avon Oeming. Oeming back in the day apparently has always wanted to do a Dick Tracy book. They almost had one launch with him and Brian Michael Bendis. Now he finally gets the chance and he's doing it solo. Right now IDW's got the licensing rights to Dick Tracy comic books, and they're doing one right now called Dead or Alive with the Allreds, and I'm loving it. I think it's fun. I love Dick Tracy. I love that movie. I love that action figure line from the 90s. So I'm really excited to see what Oeming's going to do with Dick Tracy, especially since he has such a passion for the character. I can't think of an artist that's more perfect for Dick Tracy aside from like Mike Allred and Rich Tommaso, and they're doing it right now. So that's some comic book news. Let's get into some other news, movies and TV, stuff like that. Real quick, let's just blaze through these. We got a lot of little tiny announcements. Matt Smith, formerly of Doctor Who, he was the 11th Doctor. He has been officially cast in the Morbius movie starring Jared Leto, and we also got a release date for that. It comes out in 2020 in the summer. So they're going through with this Morbius film. Of course, after the success of Venom, why not, right? Nobody knows who Matt Smith's going to play. Probably the villain, whoever Morbius is going to go up against. I don't know. I like Matt Smith. I think he was great as Doctor Who. I love him as Prince Philip in The Crown. So I'm pumped for it. I think that's pretty nifty. There's a new Christopher Nolan film in 2020. Nobody knows anything about it. No title. Nothing. I'm super pumped. That being said, still haven't watched Dunkirk. I really need to. I think Christopher Nolan is the greatest living director right now. I just think he's amazing. I know a lot of people maybe don't agree with me, and that's fine. That's A-okay. But every single film that Christopher Nolan has done, I adore. Not just like, not just love. Adore. So I'm really, really pumped for this. Even though we know nothing about it. Super pumped. And I'm glad that that reminded me. I need to watch Dunkirk. Isn't Spider-Man in that? Anyway, the Amazing Spider-Man. Reborn is coming to Netflix. We knew that Mark Miller, when he signed this whole deal with Netflix, a lot of his Miller World creations were going to wind up being produced on Netflix. Reborn was a story he did with Greg Capullo, kind of about the afterlife, and it's not really what we think it is, stuff like that. It's going to be produced by Sandra Bullock's company. I believe they're the ones that just had that smash hit Bird Box. Was that what it is? Bird Box? Is that what it was? I haven't seen it yet, but the blindfolded movie, I don't know. I hear that's really, really good, but Reborn was actually a really cool, nifty concept, a neat idea, so it could make a really cool television show on Netflix or even a movie, whatever they decide to do. Speaking of Netflix, they just released a brand new trailer for Umbrella Academy. It's a comic book that was written by Gerard Way with artwork by Gabriel Ba. Fantastic book. Super pumped for this movie. I mean, for this TV series. It looks amazing. It's kind of like if Wes Anderson did a superhero TV series, right? It's great stuff. If you've never read Umbrella Academy, I highly recommend that you check it out. I'll throw links down below where you can get them at a great price on Amazon and help support PCP all at the same time. And one of the highlights of the trailer is that Gerard Way, along with former MCR guitar player Ray Toro, did a cover of Hazy Shade of Winter. Specifically, they covered the Bangles cover of the Simon and Garfunkel song. Hazy Shade of Winter is one of my favorite songs ever. I love the Bangles version. I love the original version. I love this Way and Toro version. It's amazing. It is so, so good. Gerard, Ray, you knocked it out of the park. Fantastic stuff. Black Panther, Into the Spider-Verse, nominated for Academy Awards. That's really, really nifty. This is the first time that we're getting this kind of recognition for comic book movies in the Academy Awards. I think that's awesome. You know, Heath Ledger, of course, won an Academy Award for portraying the Joker in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, and that's nifty and all. But Black Panther being nominated for a Best Picture, I think that's awesome. It's a great watershed moment for the comic book industry, for the comic book movie industry. I think it's great. Don't think it's going to win, but I think it's deserved, and I think it's awesome. Into the Spider-Verse, though, if it does not win Best Animated Film, done. Done. It's done. That is one of the best animated films of all time. It must win. It's got to win because it is so groundbreaking, so revolutionary. It's got a great soundtrack, great animation, great story, great acting, great direction. Fantastic movie. It's going to win. It's got to win. It's got to win, right? Resident Evil. There's rumors right now that Netflix is working on a Resident Evil TV series. I've never personally played Resident Evil, but I have watched Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 being played many times. I used to just hang out with my homies and we just kick back and drink and chill, and they would play Resident Evil, and we just turn off the lights, and it would be one of the scariest experiences ever. It was better than watching a horror movie. It was legitimately filled with good, fun scares. That being said, the movies leave a lot to be desired, in my opinion. The only Resident Evil movie that I really, really like is actually Extinction. It's the third one. I really like that one. I think that's a really good I think that's a really good, solid movie. But, I don't know, Resident Evil fans, you know, be excited, but not too excited, because this is just currently still residing in the rumor mill. CW has ordered a couple pilots, though. This is not a rumor. CW, first of all, has ordered a pilot of Katie Keene, I guess, to go alongside the success of Riverdale. And, of course, over at Netflix, you got Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of, just kind of tearing it up right now. Riverdale's a hit, Sabrina's a hit. Why not, right? Katie Keene is like a fashion model, old school character, is a remnant of the days when comic books were not dominated by superheroes, but they would also be dominated by things mostly like war comics, cowboy comics, and romance fashion model comics. So Katie Keene is one of those ones. There's a big rumor that like Katy Perry kind of takes a lot of her look and style from Katie Keene. I think it's interesting. So for you speculators out there, now's the time to pick up on some Katie Keene stuff. Another pilot that was ordered by the CW is The Lost Boys. As much as I love The Lost Boys, and it's one of my favorite vampire movies out there, it's one of them, absolutely. It's top 5, top 6 for sure. Fantastic movie. I love it. I don't like any of the sequels. I don't like any of the comic books. A CW TV series, I'm not really excited for that. Why? Keyword, CW. Yeah. I'm not excited. I think that would be terrible. But, you know, you never know. I hope CW surprises me. That'd be really, really cool. So that's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP this week? Well, first of all, tonight we got a live stream. We will not be live streaming next week because that's Super Bowl Sunday. But tonight we are going to be live streaming. So if you're not completely glued to the WWE's Royal Rumble, be sure to join us at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. We'll be talking about last week's comics. We'll be talking about what's coming up this week in comics. We'll also be talking about just movies, pop culture, things in general, life, whatever you want to ask. We'll chat, we'll talk. That's what we do. Also, of course, Tuesday night, late or early Wednesday morning, the weekly comic book review. It's our flagship show. It's the show where I read a lot of comic books and I'll let you know what I thought about them, and I'm super excited for that. We got a brand new episode of Comics Revisited. We're nearing the end of season 1, but I'm very excited for this Thursday's episode. Thursday morning, we got a new episode. Me and Jelani talking about Warren Ellis's Stormwatch. Very excited to talk about that. And also, I cannot read my writing right here. What is that supposed to say? Oh, that says Stormwatch. It means it's supposed to remind me that we were talking about Stormwatch. Anyway, that's what's coming up here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Lots of excitement. We just did video last night with Jeremy Long about the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo, March 9th and 10th in Huntsville, Alabama. Lots of great guests, lots of great events, lots of great panels, including a Pop Culture Philosophers panel. So if you're in the area or can be in the area, definitely got to attend. Great show. Check out that video that I released yesterday. Fantastic stuff. And Jeremy makes a few announcements. It's great. It's a fun video. I think Jeremy just had a knack for being on camera. Definitely got to get him on another episode, another show, or a podcast or something like that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Please do let me know any thoughts you have about any of the news or any of the news I didn't cover in today's video. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. Please do join us at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. And if you want to financially support us, you can do it tonight on the live stream by just donating some money during the live stream, or you can jump over to patreon.com/PCP and unlock exclusive content like early access to certain videos, and of course, the PCP video newsletter, which I've been cranking out probably at least on average of 3 to 4 times a week. So thank you guys so much for rocking with us. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups for Pop Culture Philosophers. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living.